But I was on Tuesday night and I was kind of like having a really weird day health-wise. And about 6 o'clock, I kind of decided that I was dying. And like, I rang my dad and I was like, Dad, like I've got a few health things going on. Like, can you drive me to the hospital? And he was like, oh yeah, of course. And you know, we drove down to St. Vincent's. And on the way, I was like, fuck, I was like really racy. I could feel like my blood pressure and stuff going. I was like, oh fuck, what's gonna happen? And I got to the hospital, and like as soon as I got in there, I was like, oh, that's cool. Now I'm like their problem. Like anything goes down now, like it's on them. And like they're like, I could just see like a headline, like, you know, Husky trivia host dies due to gross negligence. And I could like see their faces like in the paper. I couldn't read their name tags, but the names would be bigger in the paper. And I was in like the triage bit. So triage is where you go, and they kind of like you wait and they assess you, and then you go and you get put in the system. And the first time you walk in, like St. Vincent's at like 6:30, there's like 100 people, and it's so fucking intimidating. And the triage is so hectic, and all you can do is listen to what exactly everyone else is saying. So you're like, you just turn into the worst eavesdropper in the world. And the two people ahead of me were having a really bad mental health day, and they were like talking about substance abuse and ODing and stuff. And like, you know, when you're having a health crisis, you kind of think everyone else isn't having a health crisis. And you get really judgy, and you're like one guy's going like, I'm having trouble breathing. I'm like, oh mate, we're all having trouble breathing. Get over that shit. And then I did get more empathetic. Like after they took the blood pressure and that, I started to look around, and I was like, oh, you know, fuck, I hope everyone's doing well. And I kind of like gave a few like nice looks, like, but you don't want to make eye contact with people. And then like I was trying to gauge, you know, when you're interacting with a doctor or a nurse or something, just on their reactions, like how serious it is. And like I was talking to her, and I was like, this has been happening. And I was like, I don't want to bother you. And like, should I just go to a GP tomorrow? And she's like, nah. And I was like, but it's all right, yeah. And she's like, yeah, I guess so. And it was like really hard to like tell what the fuck was going on. And then I've got notes. Oh yeah, there was all these like really interesting people, and I was there with my dad, and like my dad's really cool, really quiet, and it's really nice like having someone with you when you're going through a health thing. But like recently I went to a health appointment and my girlfriend came, and that was like a million times better, because I've been with like my mum heaps and stuff. But it's like being a proper person. It's like, you know, this person is chosen, not because they gave birth to me, but because like, you know, they really want to be here, you know. And now it's just like, our dad's here. But like, and then like my girlfriend called while we were in there, and I just spoke to her really loudly, and I was like, you know, like this old guy is, you know, just here, and like, you know, soon I'll be going home to my loving girlfriend, and like just talking really loud on the phone. And then, fuck, it was so hectic. So the woman in front of me had just like checked herself out of like a psych ward and was trying to check back in. But like, I've been to a psych ward heaps of times, and I know if you can check yourself out, you're a voluntary patient. And in my community, that means you don't have the cred. But then later on in the night, she was like dragged out kicking and screaming by security guards, and I was like, "You've got the cred. They're gonna take you seriously." So I was sitting in ER, and then this lady was like, "Fuck, there's so many people with like respiratory problems." And I was like, "Fuck, what am I doing? I'm wasting their time." And she had like a cut hand, and she was like walking and trying to explain to the nurse, and blood was going everywhere. But we'd all been sitting there for so long. This other one was just like, just clean the blood up, like just like telling her off. And then there's this other guy who's like, he's had this terrible like numbness in his feet, and he's like, his friend was like helping him walk, and everyone was like, just so much sympathy for him. Then 4 hours in, everyone's like, just fucking walk across the room, like what's wrong with you? And he was there for longer than me. He was there for like, I left at like 1:30, and he was still there. And I was like, fuck, this is so bleak. Sorry, I think it's a bit of a downer. And this other guy walked in, and I could hear him because he was like quite loud. And he's like, and the triage guy was just over it by now, and he's like, oh, you know, why are you here? And he goes, oh, I'm just really suicidal. And I was like, fuck man, like listen to it. And the guy goes like, oh really? And he goes, oh, we'll just sit over there. And just kind of left him on his own. And I was like, oh, I should go talk to him or something. And I was like, nah, he's probably a real punisher. But we got through it. This other woman was like, she was wearing a mask, and she was like, oh, I'm really struggling with like pneumonia. So they go, all right, get the fuck away from triage, you know, go and sit over there. And she had this like really smart idea where she just kept going back to triage to annoy them. And then like they were like, the guy actually physically came out and said like, no, you can't sit there. So she just goes, I can't hear properly because I've got pneumonia. She sounded fine, but I'm not a doctor. So then she like drags the chair back and sits like dead center, like where everyone has to walk. And then like she's really great move. And then she got in like before even like the non-breathing people and the suicidal people. So there's a tip, like if you want to get through ER quickly, like you won't be popular, but you're going to get treated quicker. Yeah, it's crazy the complacency that comes over you in that situation. And you go from like, fuck, seeing people at like, it's really struggling and like, but by the end, like by the time I get all these like blood tests and like urine tests, and the doctor was like really hot. And I got this thing of like, you want to be sick enough that they have to treat you, but reward the hot doctor and create a bond with them. Because being around hot people, and especially if they really accept you, you know, and when you're sick as well, if he'll accept me when I'm sick, then, you know, like, what's my worth? But that all went well. I'm going really well. I've got to see like 1 million specialists, but that's all cool. Yeah, and when you leave, it's like fucking, it's so good. There's nothing better than leaving an ER room. And like they said, oh, go see the specialist. And I was like, yeah, whatever. But I felt so good. I felt like running to the car. But my dad had been sitting waiting for me for like 7 hours, and I was like, don't know how that'll go down. Probably the Sound of Music moment isn't right about now. But on that note, we do have music for you. Hank, would you like to come up on stage?